It follows from this provision that all states parties to the Vienna Convention have a right to provide consular assistance to their nationals who are in prison, custody or detention in another state party. They are also entitled to respect for their nationals' rights contained therein. At this stage of the proceedings, the Court is not called upon to determine definitively whether the rights which India wishes to see protected exist. It need only decide whether these rights are plausible. The rights to consular notification and access between a state and its nationals, as well as the obligations of the detaining state to inform without delay the person concerned of his rights with regard to consular assistance and to allow their exercise, are recognized in Article 36, paragraph 1 of the Vienna Convention. Regarding Pakistan's arguments that first, Article 36 of the Vienna Convention does not apply to persons suspected of espionage or terrorism, and that, second, the rules applicable to the case at hand are provided in the 2008 agreement, the Court considers that at this stage of the proceedings, where no legal analysis on these questions has been advanced by the parties, these arguments do not provide a sufficient basis to exclude the plausibility of the rights claimed by India. In the view of the Court, taking into account the legal arguments and evidence presented, it appears that the rights invoked by India in the present case on the basis of Article 36, paragraph 1 of the Vienna Convention are plausible. The Court now turns to the issue of the link between the rights claimed and the provisional measures requested. The Court notes that the provisional measures sought by India consist in ensuring that the government of Pakistan will take no action that might prejudice its alleged rights, in particular that it will take all measures necessary to prevent Mr. Jadhav from being executed before the Court renders its final decision. The Court considers that these measures are aimed at preserving the rights of India and of Mr. Jadhav under Article 36, paragraph 1 of the Vienna Convention. Therefore, a link exists between the rights claimed by India and the provisional measures being sought. The Court then turns to the condition of risk of irreparable prejudice and urgency. The Court, pursuant to Article 41 of its statute, has the power to indicate provisional measures when irreparable prejudice could be caused to the rights which are the subject of judicial proceedings. However, the power of the Court to indicate provisional measures will be exercised only if there is urgency, in the sense that there is a real and imminent risk that irreparable prejudice will be caused to the rights in dispute before the Court gives its final decision. The Court must therefore consider whether such a risk exists at this stage of the proceedings. Without prejudging the result of any appeal or petition against the decision to sentence Mr. Jadhav to death, the Court considers that, as far as the risk of irreparable prejudice to the rights claimed by India is concerned, the mere fact that Mr. Jadhav is under such a sentence and might therefore be executed, is sufficient to demonstrate the existence of such a risk. There is considerable uncertainty as to when a decision on any appeal or petition could be rendered, and, if the sentence is maintained, as to when Mr. Jadhav could be executed. Pakistan has indicated that any execution of Mr. Jadhav would probably not take place before the end of August 2017. This suggests that an execution could take place at any moment thereafter, before the court has given its final decision in the case. The court also notes that Pakistan has given no assurance that Mr. Jadhav will not be executed before the court has rendered its final decision. In those circumstances, the court is satisfied that there is urgency in the present case. The court adds, with respect to the criteria of irreparable prejudice and urgency, that the fact that Mr. Jadhav could eventually petition Pakistani authorities for clemency, or that the date of his execution has not yet been fixed, are not per se circumstances that should preclude the court from indicating provisional measures. The court concludes from all these considerations that the conditions required by its statute for it to indicate provisional measures are met, and that certain measures must be indicated in order to protect the rights claimed by India pending its final decision. Under the present circumstances, it is appropriate for the court to order that Pakistan shall take all measures at its disposal to ensure that Mr. Jadhav is not executed pending the final decision in these proceedings, and shall inform the court of all the measures taken in implementation of the present order. The court reaffirms that its orders on provisional measures under Article 41 of the statute have binding effect and thus create international legal obligations for any party to whom the provisional measures are addressed. The decision given in the present proceedings in no way prejudges the question of the jurisdiction of the court to deal with the merits of the case, or any questions relating to the admissibility of the application or to the merits themselves. It leaves unaffected the right of the governments of India and Pakistan to submit arguments in respect of those questions. For these reasons, the court first unanimously indicates the following provisional measures. Pakistan shall take all measures at its disposal to ensure that Mr. Jadhav is not executed pending the final decision in these proceedings, and shall inform the court of all the measures taken in implementation of the present order. 2. Unanimously decides that until the court has given its final decision, it shall remain seized of the matters which form the subject matter of this order. I shall now call on the registrar to read the operative part of the order in French.
Par ces motifs, la Cour, 1. À l'unanimité, indique à titre provisoire les mesures conservatoires suivantes. Le Pakistan prendra toutes les mesures dont il dispose pour que M. Jadhav ne soit pas exécuté tant que la décision définitive en la présente instance n'aura pas été rendue, et portera à la connaissance de la Cour toutes les mesures qui auront été prises en application de la présente ordonnance. 2. À l'unanimité, décide que, jusqu'à ce qu'elle rende sa décision définitive, la Cour demeurera saisie des questions qui font l'objet de la présente ordonnance.